use charts to try and figure out which way a stock price might go, up or down, or sideways, or whatever, you're probably familiar with some of the standard studies like moving averages or Bollinger Bands or whatever those things are, and drawings like, trend lines, things like that, support and resistance. But there's one study that maybe you're not familiar with yet, and that I think as an option trader is kind of useful, pretty important to know about. So let's take a look at a chart and you'll see what I'm talking about. Here I just have IBM loaded up, 1 day chart going back a few months. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the indicators, and I'm going to scroll down and choose implied volatility. I know I'm an option trader and I can never get away from implied volatility for too long. But when I add it to a chart, I think it's something that I actually kind of like to check out when choosing a trade. So I added implied volatility, and let's see what this actually is. So this is the historical implied volatility of the symbol. I have IBM loaded up here, going back for as long as the chart is. So I think there's a limit of maybe 5-10 years, something like that as far as the data goes. But I like to look at something that has maybe 3 months, 6 months worth of data, like this chart does. This volatility is the overall volatility of IBM's options on a particular date. Okay, so here I see it spiking up, and the value there is 57.57. You see in the left-hand corner, you see what the actual value of that chart is. It's 57. What does that mean? Well, overall, IBM's options had a 57% implied volatility. That is the VIX-style calculation performed on IBM options. So in the same way that the VIX is calculated off the front, the expiration surrounding 30 days in SPX options, this number does the same thing with IBM options. Same formula, same approach, so that's what it is. It's not an individual expiration, it's not an individual option, it is the overall volatility of IBM options at that day. So going back, you can see over time it was down a little bit, then started to creep up, spiked up on this big sell-off, fell off as the stock started to rally. And now, again, you saw a little bit of a pop in volatility when the stock price collapsed, but has been fairly flat. Volatility has been fairly flat as the stock has been fairly flat. So one of the other things I like to add to this chart is I'm going to go up into settings, and I'm going to go down to events, and I'm going to go events on charts, and I'm going to take off dividends, splits, conference calls, and news. I'm just going to leave it as earnings estimates, and this is something that we're going to be adding more information to. But this little diamond right here, earnings came out on April 22nd. The March 2026 earnings period, that quarter, Q1, what happened to the stock? Well, the stock dropped on the news. You saw volatility increase a little bit as we approached the earnings date. And then once the earnings came out, the excitement was over, bang. Even though the stock dropped, so did volatility. So what is that telling me? Well, in this case for IBM around its earnings, the volatility dropped when the stock dropped, which doesn't always make sense because I think when the stock drops, typically volatility goes up. Not in this case. What happened is there was the uncertainty around the stock was due to its earnings. Once the earnings came out, they sucked volatility right out of the IBM options. Let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look at, Tesla reported recently. So here's Tesla, same information. This volatility, again, a little bit higher than IBM's, and is fairly flat. In other words, these aren't big swings in volatility even for a volatile stock like Tesla. And you see it, even the stock rallying, the volatility stays fairly high. Stock drops a little bit. When earnings come out again, just like IBM, the stock dropped, but Volatility fell simply because the excitement over the earnings is over. Let's go to something like IWM, the NASDAQ or the Russell 2000 ETF. What's going on with the volatility here? Well, when IWM was lower, volatility was a little bit higher. That conforms to the general approach that when assets go down, well, I should say when equities go down, their volatility goes up. When equity prices go up, the volatility goes down. That's kind of what we're seeing in IWM right here. So volatility creeps up as the ETF drops, and as the ETF goes on this big rally, volatility starts dropping. Now, how would I use this as a trader? Well, it tells me, yes, I have my IV rank number, which tells me where current volatility is relative to the 52-week high and low volatility numbers for IWM, 34%. That's what it does. It places the current volatility in a range between the high and low. What the chart does is tell me when those high prints happened or the low prints happened, and whether or not the volatility persists in a high state or a low state over time. So IV rank doesn't really tell me that. IV rank just takes the 52-week high, 52-week low. This implied volatility chart is a little bit more informative. It's a little bit more, it drills down a little bit more. So I can see what's going on with volatility. Even though the IV rank is 34% right now, it's been coming down. So it's kind of low compared to where it was, let's say, back in March. So this lets me decide, maybe, should I look at this trade if I want to put on a strategy in this trade? Should I look at is volatility low? Maybe I'll look at a debit spread, directional debit spread. If volatility is high, maybe I'll look at a neutral iron condor selling premium, and out of the money options, or maybe a directional short vertical. If I'm bullish, sell a put spread, bearish, sell a call spread, that sort of thing. So keeping an eye on where volatility is compared to its past can give a little bit more context to that IV rank number. So this is one of the things, or pretty much the primary thing that I look at on a stock chart. This, I think, is a very valuable indicator. It says nothing about the price. It's not based on the price movement of the stock. It's purely the option activity, the option implied volatility. So that's why I think it provides an interesting context for your option trades. Again, none of this is a trade recommendation. If you decide to use a bullish or bearish neutral strategy, please use a smart strategy when you do that, and don't take any more risk than you are comfortable with.